Saturday, June 12th. It's 7:45 in the morning. Low tide is in 45 minutes at 8:30 at about a minus foot, 1.2, somewhere around there. Energy is supposed to be 480 today. Swell height was like 6 feet, so it's kind of unusual to have that kind of low energy with the higher set of swells. But I'm gonna go try the south side. I ran into Buddy Stabler at the parking lot. He'd already been here an hour, and he said he got 0 bites. So he's going down to pump some sand shrimp in Wallport and go try the south beaches like Seal Rock and Curtis. Wave action actually looks pretty good here. I'm trying to come at a different tide because the last times I've come at high tide, I haven't done anything. I came at mid tide and got a few bites, but last time I came at mid tide, 2 to 3 feet, I got 0. So that's the reason why I'm trying to come at the peak of low tide today. So again, it's a negative tide, so we'll see how it goes. Conditions are actually really pleasant. The breaking waves are very close. So I'm hoping I can do better than Buddy. But again, he's been here for an hour. He had been here for an hour and got 0. All right, let's see how it goes. I was mainly here to try and give out some worms and weights to everybody, but I'm the only soul on this beach. And you can tell how low the tide is by how much beach there is between the cliffside and then the waves. And again, on the south side, it's the same way, because a lot of times at high tide, you're pinned up against the rocks up there. So I'm hoping with a really low tide, I can get out to the deeper water right away. So that's one of the reasons why I'm coming on a real negative tide. Okay, so today I'm using gulp and top and bottom, and I'm using the double worm setup in the middle. All right, so I'm hoping I can catch something today, but I think the last two times I've gotten totally skunked, no bites at all. But wave action looks really awesome. So let's go see how it goes. So the other thing Buddy said was that he was getting a lot of drift. So we'll see how it goes. He was using a 4-ounce claw, he said, and he was still getting quite a bit of drift. All right, first cast coming up. So as I started moving further south, I am starting to see a pretty strong drift now from left to right. The other thing I'm noticing is that I can feel my weight go clackety clack on rocks out there. So I don't know what's out there, but I can definitely feel the rocks out there. And again, now I'm getting a really strong drift from left to right. So I'm going to keep moving down south. Energy is actually really good today. So it is around 400 to 500, and the swells are still pretty big. So this is one of the few times I've come where the energy is this slow and the swells are this big. So it looks like prime catching conditions. Been here about 5 minutes, 3, maybe 4 casts, but no action yet. But again, I'm getting a pretty strong drift, so I rebent my spider weight legs. So now I'm starting to get a stick more. So now I'm starting to get a little more stick. And so it depends if you're one of those anglers who don't want their rig to drift, or you're one of the anglers who like to drift, so your rig can find the fish. So it's just personal preference of the way you like to fish. Some actually will use a drifting rig until they find the fish, and then they'll go to more of a sticking rig to try and keep the rig where the fish are. But since I bent my spider legs, I'm getting a lot less drift now from left to right, but I'm still getting some. So I've been here about 15 minutes. Guessing I got in about 4 to 5 casts because of the drift. Still no bites. Continuing to work my way south. I'm going to just try a few more casts on the south, but I might start heading to the north. All right, so I changed my mind. I'm going to go directly up to the north, because what I see on the south is that the crashing waves have started to move out. It's pretty shallow. And again, the last 2 times, or I can't remember, even 3 times I've tried the south, got skunked. So I'm going to just head directly to the north and see how it goes up there. So I've only been fishing, about 15 minutes. I'm guessing I covered about 150 yards south of the mouth of the creek, and I'm just going to walk directly up to the north end of the creek. I'm going to try at the mouth for a little bit, but see a lot of shallow water up here too though. But I'm hoping up there further. I guess that's near the trees and the houses. I see some more breaking waves. So I'm going to just try a different area. So I've just taken a couple casts on the north side, and I can tell you that the swell energy up here is a little bit stronger than down on the south, and I'm guessing it's because the north is more shallow, but as the waves hit me, it's definitely with a lot more force than down on the south. So just got to stand a little bit up further to the beach compared to the south. No action yet, only the second cast on the north though. I'm just about 50 yards north of the mouth. The things about the north is as you wade further north, as you get to the trees, there's a lot more holes here. And so if you just keep walking parallel to where you're at, you start getting into deeper water and you have potential to get it cut off. So you kind of have to walk around the holes. So that's what I'm going to do. Is I started stepping straight. You can see it's darker water. I don't know if you can, but there's actually a lot of darker water here, and you can tell it's deeper. So I'm going to just walk around it because I don't want to go down again. But again, this is just where I was. So I was down there where it's shallow, and as I started walking all the way down here, all of a sudden there's these deeper pockets of water, and I'm pretty sure that I would have gone up to my waist, if not my chest, if I had kept going. So as I started walking back and trying to go around, I actually but stepped into a couple holes that went from ankle probably to about knee deep suddenly. So I'm sure that's even deeper right here. So I'm going to walk around this and try and get to some crashing waves. But it doesn't look very good to me. So I'm now up around the trees. So I'll keep scouting it out, but it looks pretty shallow water. See all this dead water, and then the crashing waves are way out there. I could only get maybe a half to 2/3 of the way out to the first set of breakers. And then the good breakers are even further than that. So this looks pretty dismal on the north side in terms of fishing conditions, or excuse me, catching conditions. Fishing conditions are awesome. A little windy, but man, it's warm. Blue skies, very pleasant. But see, now you can see how shallow it is with all the water receding. So it's way out there. I'll keep trying for a little bit, but I think I'm gonna cry uncle here pretty soon. You can see how dry it is right now. Okay, a few more casts. Let's see, been here, let's see, been here 35 minutes. Yeah, 35 minutes. Guessing I got about 5 casts on the south and about 4 or 5 on the north so far. So about 10 casts in about 35 minutes. So I'll try a few more, but again, catching conditions look pretty dismal up here. Maybe I'll go back down to the south. We'll see. 5 minutes, got in about, I'm guessing, a dozen casts. The water looks way too shallow for me, so fishing conditions are awesome, but catch conditions are sketchy to me. I'll try a few more casts walking back to the parking lot, but I'm gonna go ahead and bag it today after 45 minutes because of how shallow the water is where I can cast to. So again, I'll just try a few more casts as I make my way back to the parking lot. But third skunk in a row for me, although I didn't stay very long today, and I wasn't as motivated to catch. I was just trying to get out here to hopefully give out some worms. So nobody showed up, but I will go ahead and replenish the stash because the stash was empty. All right, I'm gonna try a few more casts at the mouth. Through the creek, the wave action here looks better, although it's still shallow, but at least the waves are closer. But I'm only gonna try like 3 casts and then bag it because I've already fished this area and had 0 results. But you know, maybe with the tide changing in the last half an hour, it's a little bit past low tide now, so it's incoming low tide. So let's see how it goes. But 3 more casts, and if nothing, I'm out of here. I only took 1 cast. Look at how shallow the water I was casting into, and said bag it. So been about little over 45 minutes. Guessing I got in about 15 casts, 5 on the south, 10 on the north, and 0 action. But again, catching conditions looked pretty dismal because it was so shallow. It looked okay. It looked okay when I first came out on the south side, but no bites. And as I started moving around from the south though, where I initially was, then it got really shallow and the crashing waves moved way out there. So that's the reason why I'm bagging it early today. I thought low tide would be a different chance to try catch, but obviously that didn't work either. So I got to try something different. Maybe I got to try a new beach. I keep coming back here because it's my favorite beach, but maybe I need to try a new beach. Quit being so stubborn. All right, that's it for today, man. Well, what a gorgeous day on the Oregon coast. It's a Saturday morning, so I can't believe I'm the only one here fishing. Blows me away. Okay, until next time, whenever that is. Hey, so one last note is that I went down about 3 trips ago and my reel took a really bad dunking. And if you remember, I had spent a little bit more money to get a water sealed rated reel. This is the Penn Slammer 3 3500, but you can see it's rated for IPX6. So seems to have worked because it's working still pretty new, despite taking a brutal dunking the other day. So far so good.